Hey, boys and girls, am I still allowed to say those terms? It's Craig here, and I want to take a moment to talk with you today about something that some might find a little controversial. It's Christmas. Merry Christmas, my friends. Nowadays, if a company even acknowledges the phrase Merry Christmas, the PC and cancel police come running just as quickly as possible, and you end up becoming a focal point in the next episode of The View. But celebrating Christmas is extremely important to us here at Eurolink, as it allows us to celebrate the birth of our living Christ. So I don't shy away from sharing the joy that this season brings. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no problem whatsoever recognizing other holidays from around the world. Honestly, I'm a Festivus kind of guy. Because just like Santa himself, and some might even say that I'm starting to resemble the old man, ho, ho, ho! We're a global company, and we're excited to share this special time of the year with all of you guys around the world. As you might have begun to light the 8 candles on your menorah, or prepared to exchange presents next month in January during Dia de los Reyes Magos. You didn't think I could say that, right? Or even taking down your lights in honor of the Diwali festival. We promise to keep stringing up lights across the roof lines of our homes here in the U.S. But it is also a holiday that gives us an opportunity to celebrate the birth of a child born in an obscure village to an unmarried peasant woman long before St. Nicholas ever came to ask Rudolph to lead his sleigh that night. I think James Allen Francis stated it best while speaking of who Jesus really was, and still is for that matter, when during a sermon in 1926 where he exclaimed that Jesus was a child that grew up a carpenter to the age of 30. And then for the next 3 years was a traveling preacher proclaiming the word of God. He never wrote a book, never held an office, never raised up an army, never had a family of his own, never owned a home, never went to college. And speaking of traveling, he never traveled more than 200 miles from the place where he was born. He never did any of the things that usually accompanies greatness on this world. His entire credentials were really only himself. He then gathered up a small group of friends and taught them his way of life, one who changed the world with his compassion and selflessness. His accomplishments should remind us that anyone can make a difference in this world if they strive for humility, kindness, generosity, and love, virtues we should all aspire towards. But then the tides of popular opinion turned against Jesus. Even his friends ran away. One of them denied him, another betrayed him, and then he was turned over to his enemies. He went through this mockery of a trial and eventually was nailed upon a cross with 2 thieves. His executioners even gambled for the only piece of property he had on this earth, which was his coat. And after he died, he was taken down from the cross and laid in a borrowed tomb. But boys and girls, it's what happened next that changed the world forever. Talk about injustice. Ugh. Wow. You see, what I've just shared with you are the facts of his human life. And now even 20 centuries have come and gone. He is still at the center of the human race. This man right here changed everything. He showed us compassion when we didn't deserve it and taught us about how to live a life filled with integrity and kindness. He humbled himself and showed us what it means to truly love others. And it's up to us to make sure we continue that spirit of giving during this holiday season. I feel I am absolutely on point when I say that all the armies that ever marched and all the navies that were ever built and all the parliaments that ever sat and all the kings that ever reigned, all put together, have not affected the life of man upon this earth as powerfully as Jesus' one solitary life. If one man can make such a lasting mark in history just by living according to God's will, then surely each one of us can do something special too. So let's open our hearts this Christmas season and spread hope, peace, joy, and love into those around us, just like he did over 2,000 years ago. And although someone you love is currently buying you something that you don't need, can't return, well, until they're not looking, you can always trust that we're going to be here for all your hard-to-find metric fasteners requirements. You didn't think I was going to leave out my own company in this vlog, did you? Huh. Merry Christmas, my fastener friends, and may your eggnog and cookies not be left over from last Christmas. Oh, and Happy New Year. May 2023 become the best year yet. Until next time, my friends, Penland out.